Hello, Casual here, and welcome to the stream. Back again for another Outriders stream. We've got quite a lot to do today, quite a lot to get through. And for anyone who is on, I can see we've got potentially one viewer on at the moment. Hey, welcome. Drop your name in the chat. Love to have a chat and say hi. I don't know if any of you if you play Fantasy Premier League. It is the most frustrating game in the world. Every year I try and play it, particularly with friends, the version of the league where you play matches against them. My bench always does better than my team, and it's so frustrating. But we're back in it. Another week coming up very soon. Let's get some fuel on this one. So, one of the things I want to go through today was we're going to go through, let me just tweak that so I can see everything. Going to go through the build I put out last week. I am working on another build at the moment. We've got a bit of gear to grind for. So if anyone wants to join me in a bit, hey Ryan, if you want to join me for some expeditions, or even if you need some characters, some leveling up, let me know. I'll put a code into the chat in a bit when we start up, and love to run a few expeditions with people. So the build I put out when was it, last Thursday, was it, or something like that, was the Devastator Impale build. Hey Tempest. Evening all for you guys. It's still early in the afternoon here, so there you go. So the build I put out last week was the Devastator Impale build. Now, I'd never really used Impale. I just didn't particularly like it as a skill. But thought, okay, look, got to try and do something with this. And so I came up with the build, and I'll just run through it very quickly. I mean, the thing I really realised when you look at the Devastator's class tree is it doesn't have a lot of options to buff anomaly power. Unlike some of the other classes, you think about things like the Pyro Mancer and the Ikari gear set, and it's just got such a huge boost to its anomaly power. It gets up to sort of well over 700,000, 800,000 and even higher. And the other classes all have similar things where if they pop a skill, they're going to get that 30-40% anomaly power buff. And the only one that the Devastator has is Paladin, on the bottom tree anyway. And I'm like, well, okay, great. So you've got to put a protection skill out there for a class that has more armor than any of the classes, more health, maybe pretty much more health. So you get to 15%. I can't remember how much Trickster gets off the top of the head, but it's similar. But you got massive health, masses of armor, and they want you to pop a protection skill to get more anomaly power. And I'm like, why? Why? I mean, it's just crazy. And it's one of the things I think that they did wrong with the Devastator class was they just made it so tanky. Everything is incredibly tanky about it, even to the extent that you've got, additional 40% armor or 40% of anomaly power armor. And you're like, I don't really even need that. So, I mean, I think, it was one of the things when I was looking through and trying to build a build that was more anomaly power. I mean, this thing, Tempest, is its damage. It's obviously its damage output, and it struggles. Yes, the Seismic Commander gear set is lets you get close to that, but the reality is you have to look at a Devastator as a debuff class, a pure debuff. If you're trying to actually stack, so say on your skills you went with Earthquake, Gravity Leap, and Tremor. The problem is none of them individually do that much damage, and you can't ramp your anomaly power up high enough for it to make much of a difference. So you have to think, okay, unlike some of the other classes where you can get pretty high amounts of damage from the actual skills themselves. So you have to think about Devastator as it's a pure debuff class. So in which case you start ignoring things like that, like Paladin, and saying, okay, I'm not going to bother trying to buff that more than I have to, because it just won't make that much of a difference. What I'm going to focus on, of course, is just bleed damage. And making the bleed debuff enemies stack on the boost from Seismic Commander with the 50%, stack on with your Tainted Blood, and bloody boost to get that up, and then look at other ways about how you can actually then buff it. So you want to increase the duration of excuse me, of bleed. It's a good start, and my voice is going already. Increase the duration of bleed so that it lasts as long as possible, and then you really say, okay, all right, that gets my debuffs up. I'm going to apply bleed, which in this build you're doing through, there you go, through blood shock. So you've got Earthquake, which is nice AoE. It's not going to do that much damage, but it is going to apply bleed to a lot of enemies. Once you've got bleed up, as I said, you've got Tainted Blood, you've got Bloody Boost, you've got Captain Hunter as another debuff. So you've got your debuffs, and then you really say, I'm going to do my damage through two sources. The main one is going to be your weapon damage. It's the mods on the weapons. And taking advantage then of what is a 90% damage buff to buff that up from, so for that one, every time it hits, it's going to do about 500,000 of damage, another 90%. So you're up to close to 1 million damage each time that procs. Then on your second one, you've got the Kinetic Stomp of the Moaning Winds. I prefer that over the Moaning Winds Radiation Splash option, the reload option, mainly because it's just a little bit more precise about when you actually trigger it. You can fire one bullet on the Roaring Umbra, get the Kinetic Stomp to pop, and then you obviously hit the reload button and you get your Moaning Winds, and you can actually change weapon because you don't need it to actually reload at that stage. And you're right, Ryan. I mean, you've got a few mods, but they're just not gonna make enough difference, particularly when you're starting with this build from 150,000 anomaly power, and you haven't got masses of. Sorry, just got a text coming in. Okay, I'll have to answer that in a second, but let me keep talking. Yeah, there's some, but they're just not significant. You're right. I mean, if we go to Dr. Zahidi, the really ones you probably want to think about if you do want to go for an anomaly build would be, let me just look. Power assimilation, particularly in the New Horizon expeditions. The thing that I don't think, I certainly didn't realise before those kicked in, and and you had more enemies on the field, was that things like the Alpha Perforers are actually elite enemies, and you can see it when you mod that, and you get sort of 3 or 4 of them, and suddenly your anomaly power does jump up quite a lot. Yeah, no, that is true, Tempest. Yes, a little bit ironic. It's a bit ironic, isn't it? You don't. Why isn't the minigun or something like that one of the Devastator skills? Now, I guess it wouldn't fit because it's not the gadgets. The other ones you got are Anomaly Echo, but that's just, 11,000 of anomaly power. And when I first was testing that donkeys years ago now, I was like, okay, does it stack? Because every time you do a skill activation, does it hit? And so you can get maybe, if you get a 6-second cooldown, you could get 3 of them off maybe. No, it doesn't. So you get 11,000 or 11,500 anomaly power. And even with the scaling up you get from your class tree, it's just not worth it. Yeah, no, I agree, Ryan. Yeah, power simulation is probably the best one. There's just, and then the only other one you've really got is Stand Tall. One too low. Which gives you 10,500. So it's just not enough to really make much difference to a build like this. It's pretty good when you've got things like the Pyromancer, and it really, taking up by hundreds of percents when it pops off with its Akari gear set. Yeah, then actually, if you've got, say, 30,000 coming from power assimilation or 50, that suddenly is in the hundreds of thousands it's going to add to your build. On the Devastator, you just can't get there. So you've got to go debuff on it. The thing then was, okay, how do you then actually make Impale actually a meaningful second stack of damage? And the answer for me was, you use Rivers of Blood. So there's that synergy with you applying bleed, you're getting all the debuffs, and then you're getting that additional debuff from Rivers of Blood, so add another 50%, which suddenly makes it quite a big impact, because it's doing 309,000, okay, I'm getting 90% extra damage from the debuffs plus another 50% there. I've then actually had on things like Palisade and Ultimate Impaler, so you have enough of them. So you're hitting multiple targets. So it's now an AOE impact from the Impale, and then also you can pop it 3 times before it actually goes on cooldown. Because the cooldown is not great on it. It's 18 seconds. It's quite long, so that's not that great. Then you have the other usual, if I can find it. Well, I did add, as I just mentioned, I added on Sharpened Spike to add a little bit of extra damage, and because I'm just going to the end of the skill, you get a bit more from it, so it's worth doing that. But then also what we have on here is Despair. So you've got your Gravity Leap, you're doubling your damage, your normally damage, so you're starting to get the a good sort of rotation there of you're hitting with Earthquake. If you've got an elite, you're going to be Gravity Leap into it. Bleed ideally still needs to be up. If it's dropped, you're hitting another Earthquake or using your melee, and then you're going to hit with Impale. You're going to hit with your weapon mods. And it's really, for something like a Broodmother, you do one of those rotations, maybe apply Bleed again and do the Moaning Winds or your Shadow Comet Claymore Torrent, and it's going to go down. So it's pretty good. The Impale does about 1.3 million of damage each one of the spikes. So it's reasonable because you're going to be hitting sort of 3 of those, three enemies potentially. So you're up to about, 4 million of damage from one Impale. That's pretty good. And what it does mean as well is that even when you just have bleed on a non-elite, then the Impale is going to take them down, which is quite nice with the Devastator because it gives you a little bit of range damage. Now, I'm going to fully admit, this is not a speed build. You are not going to be churning out, sort of completion times close to the messes. And let's be frank, Devastator doesn't do that anyway. If you look at the speedrun builds there's a site, if you just look up Outriders speedruns, it'll take you through to a website. And, for some, I'm trying to think of a good example, but most of the expeditions, the Technomancer and the Pyromancer are very close. The Trickster is maybe 1 to 2 minutes behind. Every now and again it comes in with a really good one. And then the Devastator is probably 2 minutes behind the Trickster. So it's always been the slowest class for that because it just can't put out the damage. The one I always try and measure against, obviously, is something like Archways, just because, one, it's pretty straightforward. You've got one timed section with the pillar. And I was saying, if I can do it in 10 minutes, it's an okay build. And this does it in about 10 minutes. So it's an okay build. But the thing I think it is really good at is it's incredibly tanky. And for what I mean by that, it's not really your armor, albeit you can see there your armor at 149,000 is pretty high, 75% almost damage reduction. That's more than enough for anything. You've also got in your class tree this one whereby it's going to buff your armor a little bit more but give you also 20% resistance at the end of each skill, and you're going to be popping your skills enough that basically that is pretty much always going to be up, which means you're not taking much damage. And then because it's a bleed build and you have blood donation on, you're going to be also getting all this healing all the time. And I would say this is up there as one of the best builds for doing things like Realm of Fear, for doing the Shaman Warlord in the Wellspring. I haven't actually tried it on either Storm yet. I must admit I find either Storm just a bit too boring to do. But I know if I can do Realm of Fear, then this thing is probably going to work out fine. And it was a breeze. Getting through Realm of Fear is just so easy on this. It just isn't really an issue as long as you can keep the bleeds up. And whereas when you see things like freeze, mainly freeze and slows on some of the big elites like the Broodmothers, they don't always take. Excuse me. And so you see them actually being resisted. I don't think I've ever seen a bleed being resisted. I think it might well be that the bleed, toxic and burns, they actually always apply, and the resistance doesn't apply to them. It's really more the status effects, the freeze and the slow, that actually you see more of that kicking in. So what I'll just quickly do is I'll quickly jump into any old expedition, and we just see how it looks. Oh God, none of these are particularly, well, they're good ones because none of them are particularly friendly ones. So does anyone else there do Fantasy Premier League? Am I the only one who puts myself through the pain each year? I've got to look at, actually let me just put my headset on. I will have to have a quick look at the games that are starting soon, just to make sure my team's set up properly. I'm just going to pop a bleed on that, but then I'm going to run down to these guys, and it should jump pretty soon. Might be a bit early on the jump there. You can see there, that's just the one Impale there, takes him down immediately. I haven't even fired my gun yet, but yeah, the gun is going to do a fair amount of damage. You've got the kinetic stomp and the moaning winds, and yeah, there you go. There's one behind me, isn't there? But it's, oh, wrong gun. Nicely done. There you go. So I mean, you can see it's kind of like easy mode in some respects, because you don't even really have, I mean, maybe that's boring, but you don't really even have to try with this build. It's because they will go down. Just going to reapply that bleed. Stop at that. And he's down. Oh my God, I'm stuck. Interesting. Oh dear, that was classic. Oh, I've got stuck on something. There you go. All right, I'm off. All right, let's go down here then. All right, calm down. It's pretty brutal though. Just hang them on there. The other thing it gives you as well, of course, is when you actually kill an enemy with Tremor, you get extra armor and resistance as well. I know, armor and regen, isn't it? So, again, that's going to keep you alive even longer. These are about the worst bits of the game, I think, isn't it? It's just waiting for the next wave to come. Any thoughts on what people are looking forward to from World Slayer? Ow. That was unfortunate. All right. Of course, the one thing you always have to be slightly careful when using the automatic shotgun is running out of bullets. That always seems to happen. Alright. Just going to pop that, so by the time the next wave comes, it's going to be back. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Nice to see you, Samson. What build are you going to try on it first? Well, just something. Yeah, I agree. I think the not being able to have loadouts, or not having loadouts, is ridiculous. I mean, I do not know what they were thinking there when they didn't put that into the game. So you can see the behemoth goes down pretty quickly there. I mean, it's just so frustrating having to just sort of, you know, almost memorize your gear, isn't it? You can see there, so I don't know if you're seeing there, with just bleed, the Impale is hitting for about 650,000. Which is not bad. I mean, obviously with Elite you get the slightly bigger buff, and if you can stack things up, you get up to that 1.3 million. Oh, hello. Hang on a sec. Once we get through here, I might just stop this so I can answer your questions. Doosh. Oh, that's stupid. I forgot to hit the bleed. Doosh. All right. All right. All right. What build am I going to try on Wild Slayers first? I guess it's more isn't about which. Well, two things on that, isn't there? I mean, if we don't have any new classes, it's more about which class, and then also it's just what am I trying to do? Because yeah, if I'm trying to produce content, there's almost like that race to get to the end of the game, which is a shame because I can't enjoy it as much. It's nice to go slow and smell the roses. So if I'm going quickly, then you're probably looking at that was silly. You're probably looking at Pyromancer just because of the the Ash Blast overheat. You can basically just speed run through every part of the game. To enjoy it and just like chill and hang out, I guess I would probably say that Technomancer is probably my favourite class still. So I will probably play the Pyromancer first, just so that I can. All right, good. So that I can get through it quickly and get some content out. Any Easter eggs, any things people should be doing. The usual sort of content you'll see. 5 things I wish I had known before starting, which is always a favourite, isn't it? That was a very poor jump by me there. Can I have a reload? Thank you. I'm going both at once. I wish the shotgun would reload a little bit quicker. Alright, I'm just going to finish this little bit and then I'll stop. Alright. Alright, then we come out of that. So I mean, I think it'll be morning from Australia. Hey Craven, how's it going? Yeah, bright and early again, isn't it? Oh, hang on, very quickly. Got to check the teams for the English Premier League to make sure that my fantasy players are playing. Probably not. No, my luck will be on the bench. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Oh. All right. 4:54 a.m. Man, you're a trooper. All right. Oh, that's good. I think that's all right. I think my team's okay for this week, at least for these games coming up. Yeah, so I think definitely Pyromancer first, then Technomancer. My least favourite character, I'm afraid, is Trickster. So if it's your main, I apologise. It's just I'm not that good. Can we see? Oh, damaged out. Yeah, sure. So there you go. So you can see the Impale is doing quite a bit of damage. I have to be honest. Definitely wasn't playing that very well. It's actually quite difficult to play and actually focus on and talk at the same time. So I'm probably you could certainly refine that a hell of a lot more. And as I said, if you're running it properly, and once you get used to it, definitely. The archways is about 10 minutes, which I always think is, if you can do archways in 10 minutes, it's a reasonable build. Any longer, it's a bit too much. Just trying to put a tricks go. What sort of tricks are you looking for, Tempers? Are you looking for a firepower, presumably, or anomaly power? And I guess it all depends on what level it is, to be honest. I can't even remember what my last trickster build was. I think I did the one with a little bit of pain on it, wasn't it? So look. I think that's right. Yeah, it depends what part of the game you're in. I think for leveling, the anomaly power on the Trickster is better. It's just I just found that it was just much more consistent damage. But in terms of coffee shop open in 2 minutes, very good. Yeah, go get that coffee for Christ's sake. In terms of damage output, the firepower is definitely better and stronger. I mean, when you look at the world record builds, you're just using time. Well, you can do with a little bit of pain. I think that's this build, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, hunt the prey, and then pain transfer. Which this is a different. This is just the pure world record build, isn't it? With one slight tweak, which is I brought in damage absorber. That's why I got into a heated debate about how the mods work and why I put that video out on them. So this one is basically the build that's got all the world record builds. And if you look for Play Doh Bear, so Doh is as in Homer Simpson, Doh. But it's Play-Doh Bear, and he's got most of the world records for Trickster. Well, what you can do, one of the things I just try and remember. Yeah, I won't be able to swap to it that quickly because I don't remember the exact build I was using, but I think it might have been this one. I might have to look it up while we're doing this. It wasn't that for sure. No, it wasn't that one. Again, this is this is that bit, isn't it, where you go, hang on, let me just look it up. Give me 1 sec to do this. I try and save. Well, I certainly have for about the last dozen or so builds. I tend to save them all on the Outriders app, which is that website. I definitely recommend it. It's just a really, really quick way to actually get your builds. Okay, so it was actually... Yeah, I'm not sure I've even got that piece of gear now, have I? So Geiger's Wave, and no, it's not that one. Maybe I haven't got the gear anymore. Oh, that suck. Let me just check, see I didn't put it into my bank. Because it's a really good fun build, and you can just destroy everything with Time Rift. No, it doesn't look like it's here actually. Crap. I might have deleted it. That is really upsetting. Oof. Again, having but I could probably make it again with this. All right, let me see if I can make it. So that piece is good. This one, I want Armor of Ian's, it's that one. Then it's long range and a little bit of pain on this one, so it's probably that. Okay. And then on these, and it's a purely purple build as well, which is the nice thing. I don't think I had quite the right gear on this one, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have the right piece. This is a slightly different one from the one I had ended up with. Again, I seem to have lost a piece, but let me just check in the bank again, make sure it's not in there. No. Alright, crap. Alright, let me just see what I can make out of that. So that one's got on top. Okay, that might work. That might actually work like this. So this is the one where, and then it'll be using Funeral Pyre, Roaring Umbra. Let me do this. The skills will be Borrowed Time. And you're basically using Time Rift. Time Rift, I'm going to swap it on that side just because I prefer it. And you are using Twisted Rounds, but not for the reason you think. It's really just to, it's to trigger anomaly power. God, I haven't played this one in a while though. Mm. So you're basically, it's using the no resistance against the fortified glitch, which basically is it still stacks. And one day eventually they might, probably when they do World Slayer, they might mod it. So you're using Twisted Round, similar to Reload Boost for Pyromancer. So Reload Boost ups your anomaly damage by 50% when Volcanic Rounds finishes. So you use that as just, you have Volcanic Rounds on the Pyromancer slotted, and then you just basically turn it on, turn it off again by changing weapon or reloading, and it gives you a 50% damage boost for all anomaly damage, which works with all your weapon mods. This one is slightly different because it's basically using similar sort of principle though, was that you're using the damage from the anomaly power buff from it to kick out there, and then everything else is all about buffing armor piercing and resistance piercing through these. What it meant was, so let me just check I got that right. Yeah, I think that's right. 170k. Yeah, it looks about right. Well, fingers crossed. Let me just bring this back up so I can see what's going on. Sorry about that. Yeah, no. So basically, yeah, what you're doing with this one is, I've got to remember the order, because you want the armor piercing on your Roaring Umbra to be up, because again that's going to buff all the damage, because it's going to buff all of your no resistance against the fortified. So missing out, yeah, you are a little bit. I don't think it matters too much though. So what basically you do is you're popping your Time Rift, you swap weapons, pop that, do that. And then what you're noticing is you get 387,000 there, and if I can get to a little bit of pain before it drops, there you go. It actually gets to about 1.6 million, so it started to drop off a little bit there. But you can see you get a nice bit of damage with Time Rift, and obviously that's going to hit every single. You could hit 10 enemies if they're straight in front of you. It will kill all non-elites, and it will do a nice bit of chunk of damage to elites. The other thing that this has. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I'm actually going to change that because it's not ideal. I want this one in the middle one, really. So what you're also doing is, because you've got aggressive teleportation on here, you just do a double tap and it's actually doing that damage from there. It's not massive. It's about 306,000, I think, aggressive teleportation does. Yeah, 307,000. But you also get the Untamed power impact on there. And again, if you've popped everything, sorry, I did that wrong order. It's going to be slightly lower this time because of I got the wrong weapon on. But you see, it gets up to about 132,000. That's got the wrong weapon on, so it's 111,000 there, but it's still pretty good. So, but you're doing 306 plus 130 odd, so you're getting up to about 450,000 of damage from doing a double tap on your Borrowed Time. The other thing you're running on it is Armor of Eons. So every time you do that double tap, you get 100% extra. So you double your armor. So you don't need to stack any armor because it's going to go up to 100%. And, oh, sorry, apologies. Right. So if I do that, there you go. I've got my 107,000 armor, 68%. It's reasonable. Yeah, I mean, you might want to stack a bit more on there, possibly. Yeah, it's fine once you get to the build. It's like with all of these builds, the more you play them, the better you get at them. I'll quickly run into an expedition, just so we can see that working. Oh, God, it doesn't really give me an easy one, does it, to start off with? All right, we'll do this one. I'll probably die straight away now. But hopefully I can at least get a few timers off so you can see what they look like. Right. Hey, 10 people on the stream. That's great to have everyone here. Do shout out for any comments you want in there. All right, so let me see if I can just pop that. Do that. So that's a little one. You can see because I didn't pop everything. But it's certainly enough. And you can see there, that was the... I can do this. So you can see one of those. I mean, it's even when I'm not stacking everything up, you can see it's doing a nice bit of damage on them. And those you can see, that's about 500,000 of damage when it hits. I can pop that, and again, yeah, you're nice because you've got plane transfer doing that. I think I actually swapped plane transfer out on the build I use because you don't really get a lot for it. Yeah. Unless you're fighting lots of elites, you just don't need it. There you go. So it takes an elite down pretty quickly. So I'll leave that up for a bit. I mean, you don't have to let that drop down. Ow! All right. This is always fun trying to... I'm getting the order of the guns wrong here, but you're getting the idea. Stop shooting me. So annoying. Alright, let's line it up. Alright. And that should kill them. You see, it's nice. It gives you that bit of extra range as well. Yeah, no, it does take out non-elites really easily. And I mean, again, look, please, when you practice with any of the builds, you're going to get much better at it. Because I'm always forever jumping between builds, I'm always a little bit ropey on my first run through, and you can certainly see that here. Alright, let's take this guy out. Do. Hey, Abu, nice to see you. Welcome on board. Just running through. We're talking about trickster builds, so I'm just showing this one. I'll stop and come out in a second. This was basically a time rift build. That's great. All right, let me jump out of that. I don't want to bore you too much with watching out. But you can see that's a nice little build, and that's the one that's oh god, I can't remember what the thumbnail is, but it's basically an AoE build for the trickster. As I said, I don't think you need that a little bit of pain on it. Not a little bit. Sorry, I tell a lie. Pain transfer. So I can't remember if I took it off on this one. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you don't need pain transfer. You typically get on a lot of the time rift trickster builds because obviously it's got that. Let me show you. I can't remember which piece of gear it's on. I'm afraid. I know it's on one of these. Maybe the gloves. There it is. So yeah, if you're running a pure firepower build for the trickster, you probably want to use time rift for pain transfer on there because you've got that sharing of 20% of the weapon damage. This build, because you're doing so much damage through a little bit of pain, you just don't need it. It's complete waste. And so actually with this build, it's better to actually just keep stacking those no resistance against the fortify, which stack, or aggressive teleportation, or untamed power. I think so it's a nice little build. Yeah, I agree with you, Abby. I mean, the trickster, I think, for me is certainly one of the hardest to stay alive, particularly until you've got a build or you've got the gear that you want. I mean, I think the other classes. I mean, the pyromancer can be quite squishy as well. The simplest way with the pyromancer to stay alive really is to have some skill life leech and just pop out a heat wave every now and again, and that really will keep you going. Technomancy, depends on that. I agree with you, Ryan. I mean, there's some you can. I did do a trickster tank build, and that was like most of the tank builds, incredibly. You have to really try to die. I mean, this one's pretty good as well because it's got 28,000 health. You can see on the screen there. And that makes it, gives you that buffer, even though you haven't got massive of armor, that you're going to be okay. So let me, what I'll do now is, if anyone wants to join me, I'm just going to hop over to my pyromancer, because I think it's probably possibly the easiest. Oh, no. That was my devastator. Oops. They all look the same. Of course they don't. Yeah, right. So if anyone wants to join me, just shout out in the comments. And happy to run some expeditions with you. So this is a pretty simple build. It's just, again, it's the no resistance glitch build. It's all about. I'll kick one out while I'm waiting. See if anyone wants to jump on. Yeah, archways, nice and easy. We could try, Ryan, if you want. I don't know if have you found it's really bad on the matchmaking when you're going from the US to Europe. I haven't really noticed that, but might be. What I'll do is I'll just show you this build and then I'll jump back to the start. All right, Tempest, awesome. Right, let me so this is a pretty simple build. It's just the typical Ash Blast. Tried a few times, and it's not so good. I mean, they've still got to work on that, haven't they? I mean, because you shouldn't really have problems. Right, I'm just going to gather them all up to make this a little bit quicker. Dodge. Come on. How many can I get? Can I get them all? Probably not. I do. Alright, they're going to die. Alright, let's get the next lot. Okay, should be 2 more. Alright, let's just kill them off. There you go. This is where he's, yeah, you look at it and go, God, the Pyromancer and its AoE is just, it's stupid. It's just ridiculous how strong it is. And this isn't, oh crap, I mucked that one up, I left it too long. This isn't even the sort of the best build. There's the speedrun build, which is even better than this, which uses that reload boost. So of course I'm absolutely, it's either not registering it or it's not doing the full AoE. There you go, that's better. But let me just finish this first bit and then I'll jump on to the next one. Just try and pick up as many as possible. Okay, just the last one left. All right. So let me come out. We got a few. All right. Let me just come out there, and I'll go on to the matchmaking. And what I'll do is, I'll get a code. And I say, do any of you, Tempest? You said you were building up your Trickster. Do you want me to join on you? Or does it not matter? You're relaxed about just running whatever. Let me know. Right. All right. So everyone's going to get this. Close your eyes. For those of you not playing, close your eyes. All right. There you go. So it looks like it's 08L23088. So let me just make sure I am. Actually, you should still be able to join, shouldn't you? But if I'm going to change it to. Come on, you can do it. Not open. Friends only. And I'll leave privacy is closed, or else I'll just have everyone joining me. You should be able to join with that code, though. All right, cool. Let me know if that code doesn't work, but hopefully it should. While we're sorting that out, let me check the Man United side. Coffee. I'm with you on that one. Sadly, I've had one too many today, which is not good. So, Wakehorse is playing for. Oh my God! So Ronaldo's on the bench and Kavanagh is playing up front. Huh. And Shaw's on the left wing. So he's playing in front of Tellers. That's interesting. Tellus isn't even on the bench. Does that mean he's injured? Eesh. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Hey, Felgy Carp, he says, not being able to pronounce that one. Who's that one? Which one of that is? Which one of you is that? This is me. Wee. That is. I like the look. I like the look. So you've got the cannonball chest by the looks of it. I have to be honest. I don't like the guns they brought in with the new expedition. The meat ones. They just. Ugh. I don't know. It's not for me. Not for me. All right. Let's see how this goes. Should we just do a warm up one? We'll do something like. Actually, we could do chem plants, nice and quick and easy, isn't it? Yeah, no, I agree with you. They're just. All right, let's see. I'm gonna put that one ear so I can hear my. I've got to get this set up so I can hear my own voice in the speaker, really, on the headset. Anyway, let me know if any of the sound volume isn't working properly. So the question mark, isn't it, is do I bring Shaw in? Because they got a double game next week. There is, I can do that in my. I'm just gonna. Oh, nice, you got him. Do. All right. Whoosh. Alright, heat wave back up. Oh, that was rubbish, Watson. Alright. Pretty certain you two are going to out damage me on this one. I'm going to go right and take those guys down there before they run off. And then I'll sweep back along the bottom and get the breaches. It's interesting, it's not quite hitting properly at the moment, so I don't know if this... The AoE isn't hitting everything at the moment, but we'll get there. Alright. Alright. Here we come. We should put the timer on so we can go for the world record, which is about something ridiculous, like 3 minutes on this one. I a lot of respect for those guys who are doing that. It's just crazy when you see, you know, how much they've memorized these maps, and so are able to just be in the right place to kill everything. Ooh. And am I going to go down? Maybe. Okay. Alrighty. Where's he gone? Oh, he's got trapped inside. Oh, that could be a problem. My AoE should be able to get him in a second. Oh, that was silly. All right. Yeah, I agree with you, Craven. It's nice to be able to just chill out and to be relaxed. I mean, with a lot of the stuff when I'm doing the are we just going to wait for it to go green in a second? I mean, the lift. When I'm doing builds, I'll have the timer on just so I can make sure that it's doing enough damage. I guess we can take him out, can't we? There's no rush. All right. But yeah, it's nice not to have to worry about that. Particularly, I was playing with a friend the other night, and yeah, they were literally just got to the end game, and to be able to have them just chill out was great. I can relate. I can relate to that. Maybe not whiskey. I mean, I do love whiskey, but haven't tended to be drinking that when I'm playing as much. But yeah, definitely, I've done the whole dropping my drink when I'm trying to quickly get through it, or even just trying to snatch a drink when you're. Oh, let's get these. I think I'm just hitting that a little bit too early, am I? Snatching a drink before the cutscene is finished. Nice. Nice and easy. You guys can do the honors. Look at that, didn't even get a single legendary item. And now I have to quickly go through and dismantle it all. Right, just get rid of those ones, it should be right. Yeah, I did. I did do that one volcanic rounds, that an actual firepower build for all the pyromancer. I think I ended up using the seismic. Yeah, no, it's weird tempest. The seismic commander set. So it was a bleed build. I mean, it's fun. It's fun, but it is certainly yeah, not the pyromancer. Hey, we didn't get one of the didn't get one of the new ones. I want to do one of the new ones. All right, do the costume. You guys okay for novel? Yeah, it's so you can run that build where you've got sort of you want to put a few debuffs on it, but it's certainly not ideal. the Firepower Pyromancer. I'm actually trying to working on a build for next week. I might get out later this week. Depends. Trying to get the gear to drop is the usual, isn't it? When you want those perfect stats, it's just painful at times. And what I tend to do is I go and in the end, I mean I prefer running expeditions, but if I'm just really want to get the gear for a build, I might just go and do Horus for a couple of hours until I get it. So the hunt in the dunes, which is probably the easiest way just to get gear. It's just boring as hell because there's nothing there. You're basically just running the same stuff, same 20 seconds for pretty much hours on end. Let's go heat wave into these guys. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, Lobo, good to have you on board. Glad you like the content. I mean, this is one of the things I just love about this game is just the ability to do stupid things with builds. Yeah, that's where it just shines. There's just so much variability. That's not the right word, but variety, I guess it could be the right word. To be able to just do what you want on it and come up with a build and just go, okay, I'm going to try it. Particularly now time it's not on, it's nice as well, isn't it? I'm just going to pop on these guys first. On that one. Yeah, I think probably in terms of my build guides and content on this, I mean, I'm obviously waiting for World Slayers the same as everyone, I think. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I just hope that they give us, those new game modes. A new class would be nice as well, but at a minimum, could they do something on the class trees? Maybe it's just, I think, where would you stick a fourth tree? There's not enough room on the page, is there? But definitely, I think new game modes is. I'd be really keen to see something there, something different from expeditions. I love the expeditions, but realise they are what they are. They're just a sandbox, really, for us to play out different builds, which is great. I mean, it's great to have them there so you can try them out against different things. But we definitely need something different. Well, I think I'm definitely. I put out a video earlier today, actually, on Tiny Tina, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is obviously coming out in about 6 weeks now. And I'm actually quite looking forward to that one. I think some of the things they're doing. I mean, I liked Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3 less so, just because the humour is just a little bit childish. I mean, there's only so many butt jokes you can take, really, isn't there? But this looks, I mean, Tiny Tina's is more the Borderlands 2 stuff, and so I think, yeah, it could be quite good. So I'm going to do a bit of content on it. I'm certainly going to play it, and we'll see how it goes. I also like what they're doing with the classes and the builds on there. Should we get some ammo? I have a feeling I'm getting low. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I mean, you're spot on, Craven. With there's just like it's always so many builds you've got where like if I just had a couple more points, I could actually make it so much better, and that might be an option. I mean, clearly, what they'll do is they'll be okay. We've got to go from level 50 to I don't know level 100 or something. Level 100 would be nice because then it's a sizable game. And I wonder, I think having some more points would be good. But the question really then is just, if you've got maybe 20 levels, 30 levels, 50 levels even, you should in theory have another 20 skill points to play with. So why, what are you going to do about that? Also, what are you going to do with those points? You basically fill out everything in your entire skill tree, which would not work. You'd be too overpowered for it. So I kind of feel like they've got to. I just wonder what I do. Actually, I must admit I'm curious because that implies then that they've even not. Maybe you're right. Maybe they only give us a couple of skill points. So you can just tweak a little bit, or do they try and expand on the skill trees somehow, or actually do they say the skill trees are what the skill trees are? We're going to actually change the game in different ways. Whether it should be game modes, maybe a new class tree. Something so that I don't know. You got a lightning build or something, something slightly different on one of them. I mean, obviously, I think the thing that a lot of us are hoping for is that we get sort of content that requires the Holy Trinity, the tank, healer, and DPS. And in which case you could actually say, okay, well, each class gets a healing or some sort of support tree more than it's got already. Alrighty. Oh God, he went down quick. Yeah, I think new classes would be good as well, wouldn't it? I mean, just bring in an extra one. Not sure what it would be, but it would be great if we had one. And maybe that's where you get the lightning class comes in. I mean, there's certainly an option, isn't there? Because in theory, you could have any sort of altered. And that would be cool because then you could, level it all the way up from scratch again. Yeah, no, I agree. The Diablo 3 system would be good. And hey, Leo, I didn't say hello. Sorry. So, hello, Leo. Good to have you on board. Good to have everyone on board. 13 people. That may be a record for me, so that's awesome. Oh, wow, and you've all hit likes. Thank you so much for that. As you know, I'm not a big one on asking for likes and subscribes. I'm not going to waste your time with it, so I tend to avoid doing that as much as I can. But I really appreciate it, and it's great to As you know, it just helps with the algorithm. You know, basically any sort of interaction, and YouTube starts pushing things everywhere. Okay, now I got 4 legendaries, so that's all right. If anyone else wants to jump in, because I'm conscious, I think, we should try and give everyone a go if they want a go. Just shout out in the chat, and we'll rotate some things around. If not, we'll just keep going with this one. Oh no, sorry, Tim. We'll keep going unless someone else shouts out, and if they do, oh god. So, if anyone saw what the damage was, I didn't actually see it. I hit the button automatically. Yeah, Samson, actually, I think that's one of the things I would love to see as well, maybe, is, like you had in Division, you had the optimization table, could you do something like that? That would be great. Thanks, Craven, that's really appreciated. I'm sure the people who stream it will be very happy about you taking some of their viewers. It's a raid. Okay, let me just clear some of these out because I'm running out of space rapidly. Oh, Full Measure. Oh, yes, of course he's on. Yeah, no, he's a good bloke, he is, actually. I was just chatting because I saw he's going to be doing some Lost Ark, which came out today. I did reach out to him and wished him the best of luck there, because I think it's very difficult to the way the algorithm works with YouTube is that it pushes your content to, obviously, I'll leave that one, people it thinks will be interested in the content, which is great when I'm doing pure loser shooters. And so, when I do something different like Tiny Tina's, it's still in the loose shooter mold, and so hopefully it'll be the same sort of audience. But then when you go on something like Lost Ark, which is an MMO, thanks, Abu. Great to play with you, and enjoy work. I'm glad I don't have to, but enjoy it. This is work, I guess. So when you go on to something like an MMO, like he's going on to, it's a completely different viewership, and so the algorithm will still try and push his content out to the same people, and then you go, that could be a problem. That could be a big problem for him, because suddenly it just won't get any views at all, and in fact it could screw up some of his other content. So I really hope it works out for him, because he seems like a really great guy. So and obviously Australian as well. Is there anyone else? If anyone else wants to jump in, just shout out. Orion, did you want to try, even though it's across the world and you might be a bit laggy? Give it a second. Oops. Sorry, that wasn't me. Yeah, all right. Let me. I presume it's the same code, but let me just generate again. No, it's a slightly different one. So it's on screen now. So B4T2S1V4. So jump on in, and we'll hit a few more. And if anyone's on Xbox and you want to reach out and just friend me, and if you see me on, just reach out to me, and very happy to play at any time. So the online there, so is Seawold, is actually a guy called Jesse who is a sub as well, and who reached out, and we just did a few things together. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Tempest. You kick my ass, no problem. Oh, all right, okay. Let me call it up again. All right. This one is okay. I'm going to put it into chat as well. So X871I572. So that's one I by the looks of it. Always good to put them right next to each other. do that old joining party, and then it never does. That was always painful. Hey, there he is. We'll see if this works. Now, I'm just going to actually, chaps, I'll just wait a couple of... Actually, we'll be all right. I might, halfway through this next expedition, I might have to just run out to open the door. My stepdaughter will be coming back from school pretty soon, and I'll just open the door for her so she can get in. Right. Well, let's go for this. Should we go for the Wellspring? Oh, I don't know if I want to do the Wellspring with the Shaman Warlord. Yeah. Do we do it? Do we do it? I mean, we give it a try. It's just, God, that's... Yeah. All right, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. We can do it. We can do it. Or we might just die. On stream, in front of 11 people. Come on, Orion. I need you to carry us on this one. Yes. It's funny how they put that him in there. It's just such a tough elite that isn't a boss. All right, let's do this. Okay. I'm going to swing around the back and just take these guys out first. That's pretty good. Bosses out quickly. All right, nice. Yeah, you guys are definitely carrying me on this one. Yeah, Samson, I feel your pain. taking out all the other guys, but they get overwhelmed. Okay, let's take down the last one. Ah, nicely done, guys. Well played. That was easy. It's Orion, he's carrying us. Certainly not me, I'll tell you that. So yeah, anyway, I'll try and talk and play at the same time. Multitasking has never been my strong point. Yeah, so Tiny Tina's, I think it actually looks pretty good. I mean, I like the scenario. I was replaying Assault on Dragon's Keep, which is the Borderlands 2 DLC that came out a long time ago now, 2013, which is basically where Tiny Tina's came from. And it's got, I mean, the narrative is great in that. The comedy is, you know, it's actually good. Back in those days it was. And yeah, it's just that different skin on the game is great actually. But with what they're doing with the game, it looks good. You know, in terms of, you know, the classes look very unique and interesting. Yeah, the fact you've now got spell weaving, you've got more of melee. It feels very different from the Borderland games, which is great. In fact, actually, there was one of the classes I was looking at it, and I looked at them and I'm going to say this is a mix between a trickster and a devastator. I think the interesting thing for me will be just, you know, the class trees and whether they get that right. Because if they do, yeah, it could be a really good game indeed. Long gun. Oh, that's nice. He was already dead. Well played, Kevin. You just shoot the wrong thing. Hey, great to see everyone on. We've still got 12 people. It's excellent. Oh, I'm just quite possibly I've actually just missed my daughter coming in. She's no, she's not here yet. All right, good. Try and keep an eye out for her. Oh yeah, she's just arriving. Good timing. All right, guys, you've got this. Just finish it off for me. Right, I've just got to go and open the door. Be back. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, so I got it. I'll just self-revive. Don't worry about it. I'm good. Alright, let's finish this. Yeah, very nice. Hopefully not too laggy for you, Ryan. All right. I presume everyone knows where the Easter egg is on this one, so I won't run back for it. Playable, but yeah, no, I'm sure it's a little bit laggy. Coming all the way across the pond. Let's see how much you kicked my ass on the damage now. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, look at that. Nicely done, Tempo. She's absolutely kicking my ass on that one. Go Devastators. Yeah, Earthquake's doing some nice damage on that, isn't it? Right, let's clean this out. Alright. Earthquake rocks. Yeah, it does. It does indeed. No, it's doing good damage though. It's nice. What we got? Not a lot. Not a lot. What should we do? Should we finish it? Finish this off? Because probably this will be the last one, and I'll start to wrap things up. What do you want to do? Which one do you want to do? Do you want to do an Eye of the Storm? So we've got Eye of the Storm, Chem Plant, Boomtown, or Mountain Outpost. Or Drought Palace, actually. Drought Palace I love with the guys coming out. No votes. I'll pick one. Let's go for Drought Palace. I always think that's a fun one. I just find Eye of the Storm just so boring. I'll stand in a circle for 3 minutes. Oh, sorry, Rai. We can, yeah, let's do it. All right, we'll do Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm. Are we going to take a circle each? And now Timber says Drow Palace. All right, we got 2 votes for Drow Palace. We're going for it. We're going for it. Done. Drow Palace is one of my favourites because I just love that bit when the 5 guys come out. The boy band of Enoch. All right, so the Premier League games have kicked off. I didn't bring in Shaw. That's fine. Actually, I've got 1 minute. I could do it now. 0-0 in all of them so far. Bottom of the table clash for Everton and Newcastle. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I can say that. Actually, I'll just drink for my got my Liverpool FC. No sponsorship here, I'm afraid. Rogue Energy. No, I don't have any. All right, so for the 11 people still on, and thanks for staying for as long as you have. It's been brilliant. Guys, you got to stop killing everything before I get there. Jeez. What's the most annoying thing that streamers or YouTubers do that you wish they didn't? Because then I'll make sure I don't do it. Wow, that didn't kill anyone. All right. Oh crap! Where's the? There he is. So nothing, no one, there's nothing, anything that YouTubers do that you hate. All right. Either that or you're just being very quiet now. I'm going to sneak down this way and see if I can pick him up here. Reload. Oh, it's nice having the Technomancer's turret. It's just freezing everything, isn't it? It was great to have one in the party. That's hilarious. Just Tempest, you're up there. Just take care of them. Me and Orion, we're just gonna just chill down here. Let us know when you've finished. Alright. I probably should have got some ammo. Oh well. Where we're going, we don't need guns. Temper certainly doesn't. Anyone else going to be picking up Lost Ark when it comes out today, isn't it? If you got, I think the Founders Pack, isn't it, or something like that. Oh crap. Yeah, I'm in two minds about picking up Lost Ark myself. I mean, I do love MMOs, but there's just so many other games to play. I mean, we've got Elden Ring coming out at the end of the month, which definitely want to play that. Let me get some debuffs on him. Very nicely done. You don't have a PC? Ah, well, not for you then, Samson. At least you've got plenty of games coming out this month, though. They'll keep you busy. Still haven't decided whether I'm going to play Destiny Witch Queen as well. Yeah, that's right, Tempers. I mean, that's always the challenge. I mean, you could argue, though, that another four bagger. Yeah, I think I've got, I can't remember, I'm up to about 1,300 hours on this game. So I can definitely say I put hours into games. But yeah, it's just, with any of the MMOs to get enough out of it, you've just got to put enough time into it. I mean, I guess the one good thing about Lost Ark is it's free to play at least, so you're not having to pay for anything, unless you want. I think there's some sort of pack you can buy, or some sort of almost like a monthly subscription that'll speed you up a little bit. But I'm not sure there's not that much point in that. I did it again. It's just habit there. I didn't even look at the. I'm assuming you guys are still kicking my ass on the damage dealt with this one. I would have thought so. I'll keep both of those. I'm just running out of space on here. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Awesome. Thanks, Sampus. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for carrying me as well. So. Quickly, I don't know why I'm doing this. And thanks, Orion, for joining. That was really, really good. I'm glad we definitely say it kind of works. And I said, you know, if we were all closer, yeah, well, that's good. That's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, you've both got really good builds, so or at least as better than mine, I suspect. So I'm gonna start to wrap things up now. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining me. That was awesome. I think I probably missed Craven coming back, but yeah, thanks everyone for joining me on the stream. That's brilliant. That's probably the most successful stream I've had so far. With, I think we peaked at 13 people, and we've had sort of over 10 people for quite some time. So that's great. So I really, really appreciate it. Love playing with everyone who could do. And if anyone wants to next time, I'm going to keep doing this a little bit longer. I'll keep pushing it out a little bit longer each time. Get used to it, and hopefully, I mean, the great thing is, or not great thing, if World Slayer does come out April the 1st, I'm actually my fiance and her daughter are off to Disney in April, so I'm gonna be at home on my own. So that means I'll probably be playing for sort of about 12 hours every day, and probably do it all on stream if World Slayer's just come out April 1st. Actually, April 7th would be perfect. I think that's when they're going. So that would be awesome. But we'll do this again. Hey, Cash T, how you doing? How you doing? I didn't see you on there. I don't think I can see participants. Let me just see. No, only if you chat, I can see who's on. Otherwise, you are anonymous. But yeah, no, I think. Yeah, no, go for it. Go for the Devastated Bleed builds. The Devastated Bleed builds are always very good, and that one, the Impale build, is it's just easy mode. Thoughts on Dying Light 2? I haven't actually tried it yet. I mean, all the reviews I've seen, the the parkour and just the gameplay, the combat is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Even, so they were talking about, I think on the PC it's better though. And I think everyone is saying wait on the consoles because it's just they're very buggy. Whereas the PC for once seems to be the best version that's out there. So I think if you're on a console, I wouldn't pick it up just yet. I'd wait until they've done a few patches to stabilize it. But for the PC reviews, and I follow Skill Up, have done for years because Skill Up was he's Australian, so he's obviously got to be a good bloke then. And he was originally a Division build guide creator. That's where he came from, and so I started following back when I played a lot of the Division a few years ago back now. Now he does purely reviews, and he also does a weekly roundup of all the new games that are coming out, comments on sort of I can take these off now, can't I? About the what's just happening in the gaming world. So he does bits on NFTs. No fucking thanks, I think that stands for. It's I love it. He did a review of Dying Light 2 on the PC, and he said basically the parkour, the gameplay is brilliant, out of this world. The story is just really not that good, very hit and miss, and the character models in the game, some are good, but some are just not very good at all. So I mean, I think I will pick it up. I'm going to wait because I'm on Xbox Series X, so I'm going to wait until that's stabilized a bit. So I suspect I will probably wait maybe a month or so and see when they patched it and actually dealt with some of the issues, and then hopefully it'll be in a better state and play it then. I think I haven't decided yet. I probably will play Lost Ark. I probably will. So that's a possibility, but as Samson said, it's a lot to put into. Tempest said, you have to put a lot of time into the MMOs, and I'm just not sure I can dedicate it. So my gut feel is over the next couple of months, it's going to be maybe Lost Ark, maybe Witch Queen, definitely Tiny Tina's Wonderland, just because I think the builds on that is going to be really cool, and that's the bit I love doing. And then obviously World Slayer when it comes, and Elden Ring. And I think that's probably, I mean, there's just so much, so many games out this month and then into March and April. It's just, it's a lot to try and actually cover them all in any sort of depth. And as I found out, you have to go in deep in order to actually be at all successful on YouTube. You can't sort of skim over the top of things. It just doesn't work. Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate everyone who's come on and stayed on. It's been really, really good. Really good chatting to you. Really good playing with Tempest Orion. Everyone. It was really good and fun. And thank you for that. Just trying to make sure I covered everything. Nabu as well, who had to drop out for work. That was good playing with him as well, and so brilliant. All great games. Unfortunately, they are all great games. Someone said I got back up to 13 people. I feel bad about finishing now, but I've got to go. So thanks a lot again. See you again next time. So I am actually going to be traveling on Friday, so we'll either move the stream to Thursday, which is the sort of the Division 2 stream I've been doing, or I'll just park it for this week. I'll put out a community post in the next day or so once I've worked out exactly what the plans are. But I'm going to be away on Friday, just heading out to see my youngest son who lives in Denver. And but then I'll be back on Tuesday for Outriders, and we'll do some more runs. No, I will do, Samson. I'll be back again. I'm loving it. It's really good to interact with you. And also I love, if you, I should drop in very quickly. If anyone has a build they want me to look at, whether it's your own build or just an ideas you've had, feel free to send them through to me. Go onto Outriders app. It's just a website. Put your build in. It's worth doing that anyway, because it's a great way to actually work out how you want to set up your builds. And also it does things like the how the gear scales. So if you're grinding for lower level gear, send it through to me at casual@nylcasualgaming.com, and I'll get it and I'll have a look at it, and I'll either respond to you directly by email, if it's just sort of a, hey, look, there's a few ideas to tweak it. But if it's one where it's like, oh, well, that's just, that's something that no one else is doing, then I'll actually make a build guide out of it and give you a shout out. So thanks a lot. Great to see you all, and see you again next time. All right. Cheers.